real and being honest about some of the challenges that we faced, whether personal, professional, or otherwise, okay? So let's kick it off with you, Flau'jae. Tell me a little bit about your background. I know everybody here in New Orleans know you, but and I know you're a student at LSU, a phenomenal basketball player and rapper, but tell us a little bit about your background and a little bit more about your story.
Okay, so I grew up in Savannah, Georgia, down by the water, and life was good. Growing up, it was just me and my mom, my brother, my father. He was murdered before I was born, so I never got to meet him. But I had a village in Savannah, you know what I'm saying? That really helped me. I always would go to the Boys and Girls Club. That's where I found my love for sports and passion. I used to play baseball, softball. I used to cheer, play basketball. I would have played football if my mom had let me. And man, it just, just growing up in Savannah and seeing the things that I seen, it just made me the person I was, because I was able to take my experiences and just go the other way. You know what I mean? I knew that I wanted to be better, and I knew that I wanted something bigger. So, I didn't let myself become a product of my environment. I just seen what I didn't want to be and became what I wanted to.
Okay, excellent. And you mentioned your brother. I got a chance to chat with your mom. Your mom is no joke, okay? Shout out to all the single moms out there who are making it happen and doing it, okay? And your mom is one of them. I understand your brother graduated magna cum laude from college, etc. So, that's no joke.
Yeah, I know. I told him, I'm glad you did your big one, boy, because why?
Are you one of the people who are like, some people graduate summa cum laude, some people graduate magna cum laude, some people just graduate saying, thank you, Lord.
I'm just thanking Jesus, man.
Okay.
But nah,
hey, when you just get the degree, when you just get it, it all counts, it all counts. So, Clef, I know that you're from Haiti. I believe you came here when you were 9 years old.
Yeah, I came to Brooklyn when I was 10.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about, what it was like growing up in Haiti, and I know you've maintained connection.
Yeah, for sure. Well, the first thing I'm gonna say is nobody wanna leave. Trust me. Do not leave, because two amazing things is about to happen. She gonna rhyme and it's gonna be crazy. That's the first thing. And there's someone in the crowd that I want to rap for you before we leave. This is important. And the second thing is, we gonna give that guitar away. That Wyclef guitar in the back. Now listen to this though. No cap. A Wyclef guitar in an auction is a $500,000 guitar. So this is important to know. So somebody's gonna get a guitar. And when you get that guitar, please do not sell it. Put it away for your generational wealth. Wait for 10 years. So just wanted to start off by saying that. So in saying that, yes, look,
I need a moment here. No. We have to pause. I need a moment to process this.
Yeah.
Okay. He just said he's about to give away $500,000.
Yeah, that's fact.
To somebody in this audience. I need you to understand what that means, okay? So if somebody said, for example, here's a life insurance policy, I'm gonna pay for it for you, and it's a $500,000 policy. When you die, your heirs or beneficiaries, somebody gonna get $500,000. You'd be like, okay, great, thank you. If somebody just said, here, I'm giving you a check for $500,000, you would be like, oh my God, that's amazing. He's talking about an asset which is tied to his brand, which is global and international and iconic. And this is something he's willing to give to somebody here. I want to take a moment to acknowledge that and to thank you for that, Wyclef.
That's love. And you hit, I don't mean to go off topic, but you hit a point, which is the word asset and equity. So what happens is certain things that you get of value, the longer you hold on to it, the more value that goes into it. So it's very important that we understand that within our community. So in saying that, really, I was born in Haiti. I was born in the projects. I was born in a hut. A hut. What's a hut? Right. Google hut. Went to school, took a donkey to school. If my daughter was here, she'd be like, Dad, not the donkey story.
You legit took a donkey to school.
I took a donkey.
Serious?
My donkey was called Boo Boo.
Okay.
Straight up. This
Boo Boo
is
the donkey. Okay.
Shout out, Boo Boo dead now. But
R.I.P. Boo Boo. Okay.
Yeah. But I got to Brooklyn, Marlboro Projects in Coney Island. Couldn't speak no English, but I saw opportunity, you know. So, and when I was in the projects, I remember like, yo, dudes like, yo, man, you know, this is the roughest project in the world. Every week there's a body in the roof. And I said, man, what do y'all know about like not eating for 15 days, you know? What do y'all know about when it's time to go get water, you don't have a faucet. You gotta go 10 to 15 miles to the well, you know? What do y'all know about, you know, being 7 years old and you gotta be a child soldier to protect your village? So in saying that, I saw opportunity. But one of the things that I noticed was how disconnected the African Black Americans were to the Caribbean. And this is very important. Now we all are good, right? So we got Burna Boy, you know, from Africa. We got that. It's so amazing to see the melting pot of culture. But what I noticed was we coming from the islands or from Africa, we took advantage of the opportunities in America. Like we was like, oh man, we can get a bus, we go to the library, because none of that existed. So what I did was I instilled that in my community. So in the process of that, my father was a minister, and we moved to Jersey, and he built the first bilingual church in the hood, and 1108 South Orange Avenue in Newark, New Jersey. So here's a crazy fun fact about what you're saying. So my dad, we in Jersey, and we pull up in the hood, and it's a burnt down funeral home. And my daddy said, this is what I'm going to buy. My daddy put us in a burnt down funeral home. And we thinking my daddy's crazy. He building the church from bottom on up. But look at his entrepreneur spirit. What I didn't realize, right, years later was the reason he bought that burned down funeral home. The thing that ended up building that church was the big ass parking lot. So the thing about it is, right, I saw a burnt down funeral home. He saw that parking lot as an asset. So wanted to start off by saying, so that's always how I envision things. I look past the disaster and see the opportunity.
Wow, that's amazing. So let me take you guys, after you shared your stories in the beginnings of the story, let me take you guys a little bit into kind of mid-career, I guess, for you, and then sort of early career, because I know you're 19. You know, you're both an athlete and a student and a rapper and an entertainer, really. So you've been on America's Got Talent. You've done some phenomenal things already. I wondered if you might share a little bit about like the entertainment side of what you do, and about the fact that really even as an athlete, you can monetize your brand. So what are you doing to monetize and or create, you know, multiple streams of income?
I think that happened for me when I started real young. My mama, she started building my brand, you know. And as athletes and student athletes, is this thing called NIL, where we get to capitalize and monetize our name, image, and likeness. So I've been building my brand as a rapper since I was 7 years old. I've been rapping for a lot. That's more than a decade. So I've been rapping for a long time. I was on the rap game with Jermaine Dupri, the TV show. Then I was on America's Got Talent, got the Golden Buzzer and things like that. So that was just building my brand. But I always play sports. And now that I'm on the bigger level with it, they're like, wow, like she really do both. You know what I mean? So now I'm thinking like, how can I take a step to like create more streams of income? How can I build my brand more so one day I can sell a guitar for $500,000 and just give one away? You know what I mean?
Let's go.
So I think now it's just about elevating and connecting with people who I know have the same values as me. You know what I'm saying? Because it took a lot to build my brand, and I knew that I wanted to be someone that everybody could relate to. You know what I'm saying? That kids could listen to, older folks could listen to. You know what I'm saying? And they can understand the message that I'm trying to teach. You know what I'm saying? But I'm real big on my brand, about trying to figure out how to elevate everything that I do and make it better.
Excellent, excellent. So Clef, tell us a little bit about how you first got into music and how you even knew like, okay, this could be a career. People know, you know, your history with the Fugees, they know the great music you've made on your own, etc. But how did you even first kind of get into it and think like, okay, this could actually be my livelihood?
All right, so I was 10 years old and in the projects, and after Brooklyn, my daddy moved to Jersey, and I was 12, and he had the church in the hood, and every time he brought in an instrument, so he brought in the organ, there was nobody to play it. So 3 months, I figured out how to play the organ, then the guitar, and then probably like 4 years later, I was on like 14 instruments, and they realized like my brain functions different. So, but in this process, I had a bunch of cousins. They call us the Crazy Haitians. We used to fight a lot. I mean, you know, everybody that saw us back there, y'all really know I really fight for real. I got a chance to work out with your husband. I was showing him some 54 pickup stuff that I did in jail. No, I never was in jail. Was just saying that. But in the process, I love to battle rap because battle rap helped me not get into fights. I was 15 years old and I was playing the piano in high school. Goose down, Scully, looked like I'm about to rob somebody. Music teacher walks in and she goes, "Who taught you how to play that piano?" And I was like, "Nobody, I just could hear it in my ear." And she was like, "Well, how many instruments you play?" I was like, "A lot." She was like, "What don't you play?" I was like, "Upright bass." And then she's like, "Oh yeah, tomorrow you're gonna start jazz and classical music." And I was like, "I ain't doing no jazz and no classical, that's for old people. I'm going to be a battle rapper. And then I'm going to be big like LL Cool J and the ladies are going to love me." And then
LL Cool J
is hard as so, oh no, LL, shout out to you. So in this process, I started institution and I figured out what I wanted to do at 16 years old. I wanted to be a composer. So I looked at what Quincy Jones was doing, and then my real talent is to discover artists. So I discovered, you know, not just Lauren, like Beyonce, you could go online, endless artists, but so my passion is never been doing music for myself. It's like I'm just a coach. So when you give me like the best players, we go into the championship. So as a composer, so I wasn't trying to go down as, I wanted to be the guy that's known to, so when you look at my career, you'd be like, "Oh, this is the guy who bought Shakira. Oh, he's the guy that Beyonce said bought them on their first tour. Oh, Whitney Houston? Oh, that's the guy that did." That's what I wanted to be. So in focusing on that, and then look who I got. I got the young gunner. So at the end of the day, that's been the focus and always been the passion. And this is what I encourage kids to do, because at the end of the day, what institution is important. And there's so much facts that they don't give you in the music business when you're going in. So you think that you gotta come in and do one thing. Right. And that one thing is to get a record, get it to stream, hit the radio, hit the video. And excuse my expression, that's bullshit. That's 2% of it. There's 98% of it. Where's our young composers of diversity? Why are they not at the Oscars scoring? All of these movies, where are young little composers in the hood doing all of this? Why not at this score? Why nobody telling nobody that if you write a jingle for 30 seconds and it gets on the right commercial, you don't have to work for the rest of your natural life? So this is, in my age, this is
residual income.
Residual income. So this is some of the stuff that got me into the business.
Excellent. So what do you guys think about when you think about money issues and the highs and lows of money that you personally experienced? You talked about when you went to, New York, and they were saying, "Oh, this is rough," and you were like, "Y'all don't know what it's like to not eat for 15, days or worry about it and whatnot." So people will see, this Clef today, Wyclef, and they'll know that, you have a high net worth and that you have assets, etc. But if they hadn't known your story about the background, they wouldn't know any of this. So tell us about, for you, what are 2 things that you would share that you define or you consider to be something that you're super proud of financially that you've accomplished? And then one thing that for you was maybe a low point financially, or a struggle that you had to overcome, or maybe even something that you still face to this day.
Well, I think I always like to talk about the dark side of it, because a lot of people understand, like, the glory is the end, right? So at the end of the day, I came in my 20s, so I was the first millionaire ever in my family to be that. So the thing is, when you're like the first person from the ghetto or your hood or in your family tree to break that mold, that comes with a lot of responsibilities. And within the responsibilities, you find yourself taking care of everybody. And then cousins you never heard of before, they come and be like, "My name, I'm from whatever." I don't know you, bro. You wasn't with me. So within this process, you find yourself giving a lot. Yes. So in the process of giving a lot, you lose a lot, right? Because naturally, you find yourself just giving constant money. So then you have to figure out a way to say no. And this is important. Do not feel guilty, y'all, to say no, because look, I made tons of money. So like when y'all see like Puff and them, I'm gonna tell you, I'll be real with y'all. So when y'all see like Puff and them, I was the first one with a video that was worth $1 million. I was the first one in America that bought an F1 McLaren. They didn't even know that car now is worth $30 million, right? I was the first one that was like, I'm gonna run to be president of a country, right? Within this process, I sold half of my fortune to run in my country. And then after I helped, I came back and now I'm starting to build my net worth. You know, my daughter don't gotta worry, her daughter don't. But the point that I'm making is, at the lowest point that I understood, so if I could tell you anything here, is learn to say no, man. Like at the end of the day, do not, I promise you, everybody be up with you when you up, but when you don't got it, they move on. And people that are beggars and leechers, they don't mind asking as long as you give it. So I would say the biggest point is discipline yourself to save money, and when people come in to ask you, say no. And if you ever gonna lend them money, do not feel bad. Make them sign a piece of paper and be like, yo, all right, when you gonna give me my money? Start to discipline yourself like that at 15. You can say you gonna give me my, man, I just remember being in the hood. You can't do consignment with no drug dealer, he gonna kill you. So this is factual, right? So bring it to modern day. This is important. Learn to save your money and learn to say no. And when you borrow, don't be scared to say no, and don't be scared to say, nah, you wanna borrow $5? I don't care if it's $1. You want $1. We can't say interest because then you're gonna call me a loan shark in the hood. But I'm just saying, if I take $1 from you, you want $1 from me. Don't treat that $1 like it's $1. Treat the $1 like it's $1 million. So when you get to $1 million, you understand it's all money. Respect the value of currency.
That's a powerful lesson right there. And I'll just add to that before I come to you with the same question. You know, everybody, you know, many people traveled to get here. Some people local from New Orleans or from the greater area. But if anybody flew here, for example, you know, what do they tell you on the airplane? Put your mask on first, right? Because in case something goes down on this airplane, God forbid, then you can help the person next to you. And it's really the same concept, right, with our finances. If you're not financially sound, if you're not financially secure and stable, you won't have the wherewithal to be able to help somebody else. So there's that was a whole sermon, okay, about, you know, why we need to learn to say no. It's really about establishing appropriate financial boundaries. You know, now he's not talking about like somebody who's really desperately in need and it's a one-time thing. We're talking about people who, you know, keep coming to the well over and over and just constantly. And, you know, they basically turning you into their human ATM machine and their financial plan B. No, they need to stand on their own 2 feet and start acting more financially responsible with appropriate learning, support, and information and tools to say, listen, this is how I can help you. Can't keep giving you money all the time and financially enabling you, but I can do this. I can share these resources and this information. I can help you get on the right path. So, Flau'jae, tell me a little bit about what you consider to be something that you're most proud of, or that you feel like you've done, that you've accomplished financially, that you are saying, this is a good thing for me, and maybe something, an area where you've had a struggle in the past.
The area I'm struggling in right now is learning how to say no. I think I'm like the first in my family too to really come up and, you know, become a millionaire and things like that. So it's like, you know, people are always like, can I? And I'm just learning how to be like, sometimes like a title, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't let a title, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, them being your brother, them being your sister, you can't let that, you know what I'm saying, drive you to. So I'm learning how to say no now. Because I'm looking at my account and I'm like, man, come on now, you know what I mean? But one thing that I'm most proud of is I'm in the process of buying my first house. Yeah, thank you.
At age 19.
Let's go.
Yes.
I'm in the process of doing that, so I'm really proud of that, because like, my mom, she was a single mom, and we always rented, you know what I'm saying? So we was like going to house and moving, and I used to hate moving, like, we gotta move again, like, you know what I mean? So, but man, now, you know, I get to have stability. I think that's something that I always craved, like, me not having my father in my life. It was always my dream to just have a white picket fence, like a small one. and just to have like something in the backyard, and just to have a bedroom that like one day I could come back to and be like, I used to live here. You know what I'm saying? Like my friends be telling me like, I lived here since I was 2. I'm like, dang, like they built this house, you got to live in this, you know what I mean? So like just having that stability, and I got young brothers, they were 3, 4, and 5, and I just want them to have that type of stability, you know what I'm saying? So, but just having a house, I think that's something big, because I'm going to be able to own that, you know what I mean? So that's big for me.
Great, I love it, I love it. And the idea of saving more money, you know, obviously leads people to be able to buy a house, to be able to, you know, build their own net worth, etc. And we know that, again, for the black community, only 45% of African Americans own their own homes in America versus 75% for white folks. So that 30 percentage point gap, that's worse than it was over 50 years ago when housing discrimination was legal in America. So home ownership is one of the pathways to wealth building. So I'm so super proud of you for even having that vision and wanting to do that at such an early age. I want to wrap it up by asking you guys a question about your legacies. Obviously, again, you're 19 years old, and I know it's early for you, so I'm gonna conclude with you, Clef. But what do you hope to be remembered by, or what are some financial aspirations you want to share at this point? What does legacy mean to you, and what would you like to be your legacy?
My legacy is gonna be, is like I did something that changed people's lives, and I feel like success is measured by the amount of people's lives you change without actually meeting them. You know what I mean? So I think that's what I want my legacy to be. I want to be a serial entrepreneur. I'm working on like my 4th stream of income right now as we speak. So just having different businesses, creating that generational wealth. Talk about my little brothers a lot, but I want to lead them in a way so they get older, they can take care of school. When I get old and I'm gone, they can run my businesses, and you know what I'm saying, just keep that wealth going on. Like, I want that to be my legacy. I definitely want to be one of the greatest musicians to ever grace a mic. I want to break a lot of records. He gonna help me with that.
Yeah, I got you.
And,
Trust me, I'll be a coach with that.
And Clef, you, before we wrap, what do you want your legacy to be?
I mean, I don't really know. Like, it's deep because I'm living inside my body. I still don't know. Like, when I was like 20, I knew what I wanted it to be. At 20, I was like, yo, I said, I'm gonna put my country on the map. And I want everybody to know that, you know, Haiti ain't no booty scratching, ugly people and hungry people, like we fly, you know what I mean? And I just needed people I needed America to understand how important Haiti was. Now at 53, you know, my whole focus is preservation of culture and unifying the culture worldwide. So, because the more you unify the culture worldwide, the more information that the youth have. And any form of businesses that they want to do, whether they want to get into music, politics, everything. And I think my niece said something important, and this is the word I needed her to say. Like, I want to be, and with her legacy, the idea of saying musician. That's right. Because when the little record that we're working on, the idea of you being able to not just rhyme, but to be able to sing and to do everything. In my head, in the small conversation with you, is like you're a composer, like Lil Wayne. Y'all composers. You have the entire orchestra in your head, right? So my job is just to get it out. And I think that within the hip hop culture, rap is one thing, right? So within, we have rapping, we have singers, we have entrepreneurs. And when I'm looking at you, I see the 360. So I think that when I sit in my house and I look at people like Beyonce and hear her talk about me or different people, I just think that I'm in the right route, and we're gonna continue that. And of course, I guess my next mission now in the next 7 years, I'm definitely gonna be an insane tycoon. I'm focused on heavy, not light business. I do business with the world. So, and then I want a kid from the hut and the projects to be like, man, I can definitely do that. So it's gonna be dope.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, Wyclef and Flau'jae.
Bum, 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 bum.
Yes.